For more on China's campaign to eliminate extreme poverty, we're joined now by Wu Changhua. She's the executive director of the Professional Association for China's Environment. Ms. Wu, thanks so much for joining us. China has made eradicating extreme poverty a goal by the end of 2020. How much of a setback has COVID-19 been?
Well, definitely there are some impacts, as we all know, actually, when the country is shut down and just there isn't much you could do. So there is a little bit delay. But other than that, if you look at the particular last 5 years during the 13th five-year plan, which is between 2016 and 2020, China has again lifted another more than 55 million people out of extreme poverty in rural areas. So the country is pretty much on the track. If there is a little bit delay, but somehow, somewhere by 2021, I think that China definitely will be able to deliver its commitment to end the extreme poverty actually around this year or next.
Why do you think this issue is so important for China and for President Xi Jinping?
Well, any country's development, people are pretty much at the center, right? And for any government, any party to govern the country, that's absolutely the #1 priority. That's your mandate, that's your responsibility. And China definitely has been developing and continue to develop. We had a large number of people in poverty, particularly extreme poverty over the decades. But then if you look at the efforts made so far by the government, China definitely has been making impressive progresses down the way. And now we're literally achieving zero, extreme poverty around this time, and 10 years ahead, the UN Sustainable Development Goal, which is the 2030 timeline. It's important in the way, as I said, the development has to be people-centric. In the meantime, actually, I think that the country has managed to continue to modernize itself, right? And so, of course, alleviating extreme poverty is only the first step of the first. But in the meantime, we need to continue to develop, to grow. And now, particularly in the context of global climate change, biodiversity losses, among others, we had to figure out actually how to make sure we develop the country and leaving no one behind, while in the meantime, we achieve all the other sustainable development goals.
Is this model sustainable for China? Can this last?
Well, I think this is a huge endeavor, right? China continues to transform itself. Extreme poverty alleviation, just one dimension of it, actually. There are many other dimensions there. So this is an ongoing process. Even though now we are achieving, eradicating extreme poverty, but if you look at the country overall, we still have about 600 million people with probably monthly salary around $145, right? Meaning we still have a large population with very low income, and just imagining their living standard. So the country, the party, and president himself have a huge mandate to continue to develop the country, make sure continue to improve people's livelihood, their welfare system, their education, their expertise. Very importantly, actually, to make sure people have the skills and capabilities in the more and more modernized world, in the technology-driven development world, people are not left behind. So I think it definitely is an ongoing process, and it has to be. That's the only option we have.
The World Bank defines extreme poverty as living on less than $1.90 a day. This is not a problem that's unique to China. Can other countries learn from, perhaps copy this model?
I think so, to a certain extent. Of course, different countries have different governance mechanisms there. So China happens to have its unique sort of more centralized governance system, right? And so the government will be able to literally span a united front, pulling public, private sector, the society resources together to achieve this goal. This part probably is a little bit hard for other countries to duplicate. But other than that, I think for any government, responsible politicians, the government, they do need to put people at the center of their development, right? And eradicating extreme poverty is the #1 priority they have to address.
Wu Changhua, thank you so much for your insight and for joining us.
Thank you.